Hi folks, and welcome to the enclosure on this lovely sunny afternoon. It's time for another check-in. I hope you forgive me for taking Easter weekend off and not getting a posting out last week. I have been having a bit of a supply chain issue. I am finding that stuff is taking a lot longer to get than normal. I think when I last talked to you, I was starting the shower and looking for some soft copper. Well, it's been 4 weeks since I ordered it, and I still haven't seen a coil of soft copper. So I've taken this as far as I can until I can get the 1/2" soft copper, which will let me do the body jets and whatnot. But I did start doing a little bit of bending. I'll just tilt you down here, and got that takeoff for the body jets bent up so that it could basically fit. Now, a lot of plumbers, if they look at this, they're going to think I've totally blown it because I've got the fixtures way too proud of the stud wall. But what you don't know is that I am going to put hydronic heating in this wall. As part of our heating system, we have hydronic plates. They're aluminum transfer plates, and they radiate heat. Generally that's going to be out of the ceiling, but we're also going to do that in the bathroom shower, the master, so that the walls are always warm during the winter time, radiating heat out, so you never feel like you're in a cold, drafty shower. But we've got the volume for the what's that? That's the shower head volume. That's the master temperature selection. That doesn't set the volume, that just selects the temperature, and then you have to select one of the volume taps valves to actually actuate the volume. This one is going to be for the body jets, and so it goes down to there, and then there will be a T off, and the 4 body jets will be off that. And then this one here comes up and does the nipple for the handheld. Then the shower head is going to basically come up to this valve here, to the bottom, and then we have a selector valve. It's A, B, or A and B that goes up to the shower head, which will be somewhere up there. So that kind of got stalled. I can't really do any more on that until I get some material. Hopefully, I've been promised early this week. We will see. So I took that as far as I could, and then I switched gears. I did finish off the last of the PEX lines that I could to the master ensuite lavatories. And again, I'm waiting for valves and T's and stuff like that to connect there. Hopefully they'll be here early this week. And then I also was able to finally pick up my master ensuite tub. And so there is the tub there. It's a KOHLER. It's a 5.5 foot. And it has what's called heated bask, which is basically a heating pad that attaches, see if you can see it here. Here, I'll swing you around and see whether, if you can see it. So you can see there that there's sort of a pad attached. And that basically is a heating pad. It heats the back of the backrest and keeps you nice and toasty. So that is ready to go, and just today I started the surround for it, which is what you see here. And basically it's going to be a draw pin. And we've now also been able to, now that we've got all the dimensions figured out, we've been able to frame in the wall separating the tub from the shower, which is what you see here. So I've just been working on that today and truing up the plumb of the walls around it and whatnot. What else did we get done? We did finish the vacuum rough-in. So that was planned. Actually, I'll just turn around here. There's a little bit of it there. Got 2 outlets on the upper floor. What they like to see is they like to see a small 90, what's called a short 90, off the junction. This is a long 90, and the reason they want to see a short 90 is it prevents things getting sucked in. It'll actually get jammed in the hole so that it can't go around the corner. You also don't want to glue the piping to the back of the mounting plate. This is just loose. So if you ever have to replace this because it's broken or whatnot, you just pull this off and put the other one on. The reason I have a long 90 there is because of some interferences down below. I couldn't get it any tighter. But if we come over to the one here, we can see we do have the short 90. So anything that is going to come in here is going to get stuck so that it can't go down. Anything long that shouldn't be going through the system. So we got all of the rough-in piping in. It went actually ahead of schedule. I was quite pleased. I had allowed, I don't know, I think I had allowed 5 days for it, and I got it done in basically 2 full days. So we can go up here and we can see it just running through, 45ing. They also don't want to see, they don't want to see a riser from a port directly into a Y. They want it to come off sideways from above or from the end further down, and basically that's just to maintain airflow suction. But we got everything in. There's a kitchen one that's going to go below that plate there, kickboard, and I'll show you what that looks like. And it basically allows you to just sweep everything over to a port, and with your foot or the broom you can just take something like that and hit it with your broom or your foot, and it sucks everything up. This particular design has a really good, let me tilt you down here, a really good flow all the way along here. A lot of them, they just provide this little tiny little hole and you don't get much suction. This was called Can Sweep, and the research I did showed that it was by far the best, the model, or at least this style is the best style. What else? We did, as I mentioned, we finished some of the insulated potable water supply over to the master lavatories. I haven't glued up any of the insulation seams. I'm going to wait until I do a water test, but I don't suspect there to be any problems. This PEX-A and the expander system works really well, is really quick, and I'm quite pleased with it. I'm also going to put, and you won't be able to see it here, but this is the base of the stairs from the 2nd floor to the 1st floor. I am going to put, you probably can't see it all, I don't think. No. There is going to be an elbow out to a port right at the bottom of the stairs here. That kind of works out to be a perfect location for my 30-foot radius, which is the length of the tubes. So we'll just go quickly downstairs. So another port in the basement. We've got Oh, what do we got? I think we've got 3 in the basement. This is the entrance to the HVAC hall. So the HVAC is going to be at the back wall over there, and that reaches most of the north end of the basement. And then I've got one over in the exercise studio, and that reaches the south half of the basement. And then I've also put one into the woodworking shop. Don't anticipate using it too much, but you can just see it over there. And so this would be a good example. On this port, what they don't want to see is going up into the bottom of a T, of a Y. They want to see you do a horizontal run over to something, just to maintain such. Here's a good example. The one that was near the HVAC hall, I've come up and then I've come flat over instead of coming up the, and hopefully you can see that, instead of coming up below and into the Y, I'm coming on a flat Y. So it maintains the airflow. And then the whole thing elbows out in there. It got a little bit interesting. It's starting to get a little bit crowded in here. There's so much coming in. There's the riser that is coming from the upper floor, and then I have to elbow up to get past the beam here, and then across. Then we Y out. There's the Y that's going underneath this, actually that's the Y to the second floor. I don't remember what that is. Actually, that's the Y underneath the stairs, and then that's the Y that goes up to the second floor, the short elbow one that I showed you. And everything comes and penetrates the wall to the cold room, and then runs across the cold room surface, cold room wall surface, over to where eventually the machine will be located. So we come here and come over, and I still have to put hangers on it, but I can do that at a later time. But the machine will be located in this corner, and the port you see, the exhaust port, is what's taped up over through the right hand wall there. Okay, so the next thing, after we finished the vacuum, we did finish off the non-potable circuit, which is what is fed by the cistern. And you can just see the Y strainer and shut-off valves. You can see they're both on, so we are live. And I am now using that water to irrigate the project that I did over the Easter holidays, which I'll show you in a bit. Okay, so I was talking about the non-potable. Over the Easter weekend, I managed to get 8 yards of soil mix in, and we have put in an extension to the wildflower garden we had last year, and this time it is for some vegetables. I call this the COVID garden. It's not because I'm worried there's going to be a supply chain issue. It's just because I really don't want to be out in public that much until this is all over. So we've got some tomatoes, and you probably will recognize the metal grating is what was used for the excavation bank stabilization. So it actually makes some pretty good tomato cages. And got some peas going, and some cucumbers, or sorry, those would be squash that are down there, zucchini. I've got more to plant still, but do it on the Sundays when I'm not working on the site. And we've got some herbs and strawberries and over here we've got some raspberries and blueberries and dill, rhubarb, and down here we see some cucumbers and some spaghetti squash and some pod peas as opposed to the snap peas on the other side. So yeah, I was able to take all of the stuff that I've had in pots this entire time we've been building and plant it, which is making the plants very happy. They've generally all survived. I'm quite shocked at that, but they're all healthy and doing well, and they seem to love this groundwater with its high mineral content and whatnot. And on top of that, I'll just pause you for a sec. Something that I had always planned to do was to use this garage roof for tomatoes. So we've got tomatoes and lettuce here. Keeps the the slugs out, keeps the rats out, and provides some pretty good heat runoff from the black roof. And because we've hooked up our non-potable water, we have the ability to water right from here. And basically that I'll have a timer on that automatically keeps everything watered via drip irrigation. I'm using drip on all the vegetables because the water is non-potable. It does have bacteria in it, and the drip irrigation will allow the soils to stay saturated, but not obviously put the bacteria onto the plant material itself. So the tomatoes went in yesterday, and much to the chagrin of one of my neighbors who thinks I'm way too early, but they are doing quite well and have no concerns at this point. So thanks for visiting. Hopefully by the time you come by next time, I'll have some major announcements. I was able to line up a partial sponsor on something and a full sponsor on something else. So I'll just give you that as a pellet, a taster, and hopefully I'll have some more concrete announcements soon. So thanks for visiting, and we'll see you again soon.